Welcome to Voices for Impact, the podcast. Started during the COVID-19 pandemic and made in Syracuse, Voices for Impact is full of conversations with thought leaders from around the world that have made significant accomplishments in their lives and have gone through their own challenges, but have made it through those adversities and made positive impacts through their work. I'm your host, Danielle Mensing, and as a fundraiser for a nonprofit, I believe the most valuable tool you can give yourself is making a positive impact on others and your community. Every conversation is going to give you tools and tactics from entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and change makers that will encourage you to develop a growth mindset and reimagine how you can find your purpose. Now let's get started. This episode of Voices for Impact is sponsored by Keffy Marketing, locally woman-owned and operated by Katina Carl, a marketing, advertising, public relations, and social media marketing company that creates marketing campaigns that are filled with innovative thinking, successful mindsets, and creative solutions, all while putting kindness, positivity, and heart into every campaign they're a part of. Look no further than to bring Keffy Marketing to that table for all your marketing needs. Contact Katina Carl, owner of Keffy Marketing, at katina@keffymarketing.com, online at www.keffymarketing.com, or on social media at Keffy Marketing. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Voices for Impact, contact us through Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Voices for Impact. My name is Danielle Mensing, founder of Voices for Impact, and today I am chatting with Caeresa Richardson. She is the owner of Gypsy Freedom, which is Central New York's first sustainable fashion boutique. After spending many years as a corporate engineer, Caeresa created Gypsy Freedom to unite style and awareness, making them accessible for the everyday woman. Through her unique perspective, both technical and chic, she empowers women to express their social values through their personal style. I love it. Caeresa is a Buffalo, New York native and is very active in the Central New York community. Most notably, she is a business consultant at the Wise Women's Business Center, a board member at the Gifford Foundation, and a member of the Women's Fund Leadership Council at the Central New York Community Foundation and Junior League. Among the many things that she does. So thank you so much for having a conversation with me today.
It's my pleasure, and I'm just honored. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Danielle.
So tell me about your journey from being a corporate engineer to now opening up your own sustainable fashion boutique. What initiated that transition? Tell me about that journey.
Yeah. So I think my professional career is similar to most young girls, especially young girls from urban neighborhoods like mine. I started in engineering because I knew that I needed something that would give me a good financial stability type future, right? So I did all the normal things, went to college, checkbox, got a good job, checkbox, got a phenomenal husband, checkbox, bought the house, got the baby. All of those things, that's like the American dream, right? But there's always, and I think all of us have it as women, there's always a dream that we still have in the back of our head, our daydream, right? So I literally never quit my quote unquote daydream. I was always dreaming about doing Gypsy Freedom in some form. While I was in my undergrad studying at SU, Syracuse University, I actually took a minor in fashion design and got exposed to some of the industry and things. So I've always had this interest in it. And eventually just sort of became this consuming thought, okay, I have to do this. Sustainability is not just a trend. It's something that is aligned with so many people's values. And if I'm having a hard time finding brands that align with my values, I can't be the only woman in America thinking this. So that's what really pushed me to step out of my comfort zone, to uncheck all of those boxes and to do something new and crazy.
I love that. Oh my gosh, what an awesome story.
So I am no longer in corporate America. I left my full-time career as an engineer to do this full-time, and girl, it has been a journey. It has been like every sort of emotional roller coaster that you think you have ever been on in your life, like multiply it times 10 once you go into business for yourself.
Right.
It's so fun, daring, but also challenging at the same time.
What is some advice or maybe a story that you have of this journey of opening this boutique and the challenges that have come with it and how you've gotten through those challenges?
Yeah. So the first is figuring out a quote unquote new normal, right? And doing things a new way. So I've had this challenge twice so far in my business. So the first was opening originally. So I started Gypsy Freedom as a pop-up shop, actually.
Oh.
So the normal way to open a boutique is you find your brick and mortar, you get a lease, and you open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually started just temporarily popping up in other people's spaces and using that as a way strategically to learn about retail, a new industry that I'm entering and knew nothing about. So to learn about this new industry, to learn about my customers and to find my tribe, so to speak, like who is this girl that's shopping at Gypsy Freedom? Like, so I had to really like create this persona and find this woman, you know? So my pop-up shops allowed me to do that. So that was my first challenge, is figuring out this new normal of operating as a full-time pop-up shop and online retailer. Then COVID happened and I was no longer able to pop up anywhere.
Right.
Because a pop-up shop requires you to physically be in places. Right. So now I have to reimagine my entire business model. Yeah. So that's what made me create my virtual sip-in shops that I host monthly, which are so much fun, but they're basically my virtual pop-up shops. You know, that. So instead of being able to pop up in someone's shop, I sort of had to create this whole pop-up atmosphere in my studio / living room.
How innovative though. That's so awesome. You're pivoting and you're making it work.
Yeah. So, I would say that is the success strategy as a business owner, is you've got to be innovative. You have to be always thinking about what's my customer experience like, and how can I make it new and different for them and something that they will enjoy.
Exciting. So, what advice do you have for women that were in the same place you were, where they're transitioning in their careers and they might have a lot on their mind and it's overwhelming? What's some advice that you would have for them?
So I'll start by saying, don't quit your daydream. So keep dreaming, but also write them down. Writing down sort of my ideas and my, specifically my business ideas, writing them down and getting them on paper really helps me to formalize them. Yeah. And if you think about it, you do this in business anyways. When you work, when as a project manager, I would start by first, let's write down what we want this to be. You know, what do we want the solution to be? And then that gives you, once it's on paper, it gives you a target to sort of go after. So that would be my sort of tidbit for success, is definitely don't quit your daydream. Keep dreaming, but write them down so that you can start to materialize them.
Why sustainable?
Yeah.
What is that? What empowered you to go with that route?
Yeah. No, that's an excellent question, Danielle. So, like, why not just open a boutique? You know, why choose that niche? So as an engineer, I worked in a lot of manufacturing facilities, and just personally, I was able to see a lot of the damage that just traditional manufacturing practices and a lot of the harm that they cause to our surrounding environments.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from pollution and increased asthma around certain neighborhoods that
Mm-hmm.
surround manufacturing facilities, water cleanliness and water pollution, the crazy plastics issue that we currently have with all of the plastic microplastics that we have in our oceans.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these issues that really, when you nitpick down to it, have to do with large manufacturing and traditional manufacturing practices.
Mm-hmm.
So working in those factories, I was exposed to that and saw it as an issue. And I personally decided to figure out how I personally can have a positive impact on my environment.
Mm-hmm.
So at home, we started to do things like recycle, we eat organic, we use as little plastics as possible. And I began to also think a lot about the clothes that we wear in our back. Like, I fancy myself in thinking that I'm pretty stylish, but I wanted to figure a way. Thank you. I wanted to figure out, is there a way that I could be stylish still, but also conscious of my environment? Could I find brands that represented my values as a woman, in general? So it also became increasingly important to me to support brands that aligned with my values. And I think I'm not the only woman who feels this way. I think it's really becoming more and more important for a lot of people, not just women. So Gypsy Freedom to me was, if I'm going to make this huge transition for my career, I really wanted to be able to do it my way.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be able to fulfill this need that I knew was currently underserved. So that's why sustainable.
I love it. That's a really good story. And I love how passionate you are about sustainability, and also just bringing sustainability to Central New York when we've never had that, especially in downtown Syracuse. Where is just Gypsy Freedom located? Tell our viewers that.
Yeah, so we are opening a beautiful showroom, our first showroom, our first brick and mortar location in downtown Syracuse, New York, on Salina Street. So the address is 312 South Salina Street, Syracuse, New York, 13202. So I'm really excited to be right downtown in the heart of Syracuse, to be next door to phenomenal business owners and phenomenal businesses like Oh My Darling, Original Grain, Champs, which I'm right next door to. So, and there's been a huge surge going on in Syracuse. The Syracuse surge is what everyone's talking about. Yeah, so I'm really excited to be able to contribute to that and be able to invest in the Syracuse community this way.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I can't wait to go shopping there, and I'm sure everybody else is too. It's a new place in downtown, right in the middle of the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get into a positive mindset? You are such a positive person. You have such a great smile. How do you get into a positive mindset? What's some advice you'd have for people that are, feeling down and out this year and overcoming challenges?
It's really easy to feel down and out this year. I mean, there's a lot. I talk about not having any control over situations. 2020 has really taught us that. I think what really helps me stay positive is trying to be outside as much as I possibly can. So usually with Gypsy Freedom, majority of my photo shoots are outside. So whenever I get new arrivals, I'm trying to spend as much time outside to photograph those new arrivals. I take meetings from outside as much as I can. When I'm with my daughter brings me so much joy. So being with my daughter and my husband, we take walks all the time. We do family activities outside. our backyard has become sort of our living room.
Oh, I love it. Well, you've had to do something, right? But it's also brought families closer together, kind of like what you're saying. And that's so nice.
And there's a lot of science to it, Danielle. So being outside immediately lifts your mood. I mean, I won't even try to provide data because I don't have it, but there's tons of research out there that, you know, exposure to the sun and outside in nature really, really helps. And it really helps me.
Now, what are some resources that have helped you on your journey?
People, so definitely trying to learn from people who do this well. So to start, when I transitioned from engineering, I didn't know anything really about retail. So I just took a month or a couple of months to intern in a local boutique. Yeah. And I worked there for free just to learn, just to figure out, you know, how does this run? You know, what is this machine called retail? You know, and it's very similar to how I entered engineering. You know, when I started as an engineer, I spent a lot of time on the manufacturing floor, just like literally shadowing people, walking around. It wasn't my job to do that, but I just did it so that I can learn. So that hands-on learning really helped me, and interacting with people and asking a billion questions really helped me on my journey. Please follow us on we are at Shop Gypsy Freedom on Facebook and Instagram. We host a monthly sip and shop live on Facebook and Instagram as well. Our next one is August 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then our grand opening is August 31st for our downtown Syracuse showroom.
So exciting. Now, my last question to you is, how do you define success?
So for me, success is if I can go home feeling like every day I've done something good that has impacted somebody, I feel successful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's it. It's simple as that. Just going home and feeling like you impacted people. I think I definitely agree with that one. Thank you so much for sharing what you do, some insight into your life and your journey, and Gypsy Freedom. Really excited that this boutique is coming to downtown Syracuse.
Thank you so much for having me, Danielle.
And thank you to our viewers for watching. Please stay connected on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now on Apple and iHeartRadio podcast platforms. Please like and subscribe to stay connected. And I'll see you next time on Voices for Impact. Bye. This episode of Voices for Impact is sponsored by Caeresa Marketing, locally woman-owned and operated by Katina Carl, a marketing, advertising, public relations, and social media marketing company that creates marketing campaigns that are filled with innovative thinking, successful mindsets, and creative solutions, all while putting kindness, positivity, and heart into every campaign they're a part of. Look no further than to bring Caeresa Marketing to that table for all your marketing needs. Contact Katina Carl, owner of Caeresa Marketing, at katina@caeresa-marketing.com, online at www.caeresa-marketing.com, or on social media at Caeresa Marketing. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Voices for Impact, contact us through Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.